A rousing rendition, full of emotion, and here inside a stacked, full Stade de France, supporters of Spain and Italy, pretty much evenly numbered. I'm sure there's a few neutral Parisians as well who just want to come and see a good game of football tonight, and this should be a cracker. Italy, who lost last week to the Republic of Ireland, of course they already knew they had won the group and they made many changes. Italy have never in their history lost back-to-back games at a European Championships finals. The Italians, who used more players than any other team in the group stage, everyone except the third choice goalkeeper got a run out, and a complete difference with the Italians, who now, Jermaine, for a fourth game in a row, are starting with the exact same starting 11.
Yeah, and their strength is the fact that nobody really expected much of them. I think definitely back in Italy they got a lot of criticism as a squad. I think that was even described as one of the worst squads that was brought to a European Championships. But they've used that and used it in the right way. It's galvanised them, it's got them together. You've got a couple of real genuine stars in this team, the De Rossis and the Buffons that have been there and done it. But apart from that, you've got some real hard working players, and I think they can give this Spanish side a real good game today. I think it's going to be a tough one for Spain to handle, not only the physical side of what the Italians bring to the table, but the formation and how well they play it. It's very tricky to try and combat.
It's the fourth time these nations have met in the last 3 European Championship finals. Not so long ago they met in the group stage and later on in the tournament, of course. But here in Paris, one of these countries, Italy or Spain, is going through to the quarter-final to play Germany in Bordeaux at the weekend, and the other nation is going home, and regardless of which of the two it'll be, they'll be very disappointed. They will have aspirations to go much further than this. The Spanish are going to start the game in their white strip with this splash of red and yellow on the left side of the chest, and the Italians all in blue, of course, and that giant figure, Gianluigi Buffon, the Juventus goalkeeper, takes his position in the goal mouth, away to our left-hand side. 159th international cap. 11th senior tournament for Buffon, who is just part of the furniture for Italy at these major occasions. Spain are going to get it started. Cesc Fabregas standing on his own inside the centre circle. A handshake between Iniesta and Busquets, the two Barcelona teammates, and we are underway here in Paris. The ball immediately played back to Piqué, and almost on cue, with the end of the countdown for kickoff, the heavens open and rain pours down onto the pitch.
That was absolutely unbelievable, wasn't it? Literally, the heavens just opened up and said, right, let's get some water on this pitch. Quicken up the tempo straight away.
Good early interception by De Scelio down the left-hand side, and retreating Spanish defenders now as a ball is played early into the penalty area, but it bounces up comfortably for David De Gea. Well, I was in Lyon yesterday when the Republic of Ireland scored just seconds into the game, being awarded a penalty, and Italy trying to get off to a really good start here against Spain. 0-0 on 5 Live from the BBC, and of course England against Iceland. Full commentary coming up later at 8 o'clock. But Italy in possession. Chiellini to the left-hand side, and De Scelio once again back into the middle of the midfield, and Daniele De Rossi close to the centre circle, sprays an ambitious ball wide to the right-hand side, but Florenzi's done really well to bring it into the penalty area. Crosses low, Piqué, not the best clearance of his career, and then Pellè tries to send a header on target, but there's no power on it, and De Gea can gather. But Italy have started well.
Started very well, brightly. Everybody looks at it. They're pressing high up the pitch. The decisions the Spanish are going to have to make today with Jordi Alba and Juan Fran is, do I drag Nolito back and David Silva to help me out, or do I get Andre Iniesta and Fabregas to help me out? Because Florenzi and De Scelio, they play so high up the pitch that they almost end up with Eder and Pellè up against the back two, and then the two wing backs can go as high against Alba. So they play 4v4 at the back at times, and these are decisions that this back four of Spain are going to have to make.
That's the voice of Jermaine Ginas watching this game with us here on 5 Live, the last 16 of Euro 2016, and it's no goals yet between Italy and Spain. And here come the Spaniards on the attack. Good ball towards the edge of the penalty area, controlled by Nolito, but no shot on the end of it, and the Italians clear away. And here is Sergio Ramos of Real Madrid just casually running back into his own half, collecting the ball. No undue pressure from the Italians, who are happy to hold on the halfway line. To the left, to Iniesta. Always a joy to watch him in action. Strokes the ball down the left flank. Morata will come across sprinting for it, and Bonucci gets there comfortably ahead of him, and notably takes no chances. You thought he had a little bit more time there. No messing around from Bonucci, just puts it straight out for a throw. Spain take it in towards Nolito. He can't control on the edge of the penalty area. It looks like it's a slippery pitch down there with the rain coming down heavy now, and that's a good pass from Pele, trying to bring Eder into things, but good defending, and well alert is Sergio Ramos, who just wins the ball on the edge of the Spanish penalty area, and Spain come away with the ball 0-0.
It's been a common theme in this championship. It's players slipping over at vital times. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've just spoke about the heavens opening up, and it really is pouring down. I imagine that when the players came out to check the pitch, they probably started with their moulds on. It's been pretty dry most of the time in Paris, but I mean, they're just slipping at vital times, as Eder did then. He seemed to have the pace on Ramos.
And some of the pitches have been terrible, most notably in Lille. Playing surface looks to be decent here at Stade de France.
Looks gorgeous, looks absolutely
just look over on the far side. There's a mass exodus of supporters in the front rows who are getting absolutely drenched. So if you're in the first sort of 8-10 rows closest to the pitch, they've en masse, hundreds of them, I mean probably thousands at this stage, just heading back up the staircases, which get wider the higher up you go, and they're sort of congregating at the top, and you can just imagine the job worth stewards trying to get order there and trying to get everyone to keep the aisles order clear. Yeah. It'll be very difficult, but it just shows how heavy the rain is. So much so that Conte has put on a baseball cap to protect his hair.
For footballers, it's lovely to play in this weather. I mean, it's not cold, there's no wind. The rain comes down, it just makes the pitch nice and slick, nice and quick, and the first thought you'll be saying to your strikers is get a shot on target as soon as possible and test these goalkeepers in these conditions.
Spanish fans singing Viva España in the rain in Paris. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the game. The factor at the moment, 0-0. Italy against Spain here, and so far it's Italy who've impressed on the counter-attack, and Spain yet to develop any sort of rhythm. Here is Iniesta, 8 yards inside the Italian half. To his left, Jordi Alba, a back heel to Iniesta once again. 11 men behind the ball from Italy, there's no doubt about that, as Fabregas on the left channel here to Nolito, who'll step into the penalty area, just slipped again at a crucial moment, what you were saying, Jermaine, and the ball is hacked away by Barzali.
They all keep looking at the pitch, but the pitch, it looks immaculate. I mean, you can usually tell even from high up. I'd be able to tell you if the pitch was patchy and it didn't look right, but I mean, it's lush, the surface is lovely. It's just this rain that's come down, and it's probably caught the players out with the choice of footwear that they've got on.
Barzali up to Marco Parolo, and this is Florenzi on the right hand side, who played centre midfield against the Republic of Ireland on Wednesday, and now he's playing right wing back. Here is Parolo. Chance to look up and cross from the right hand side, just too high for Graziano Pelle. It's going to come back down to De Rossi here, disguised pass to the left hand side. Italy with plenty of numbers forward. Eder, he took a touch and then tried to hit it, but that little hesitation allowed the defence to close him down. It's a chance.
This is the brilliant thing about this Italian formation. When they get into attacking areas, the amount of bodies that it enables them to commit forward into the box. I mean, you had 4 or 5 players in the box and a couple on the edge of the D ready for the ball to be cut back. So inevitably it's easier to find one of your own players, and Eder there, I mean, I think it was Gerard Piqué that came out and made the block, but it was a good opportunity for them.
0-0 here in Paris, Italy against Spain, and a good ball down the right hand side for Alvaro Morata, the Juventus striker, to chase, and he's done well to hold it up here, and support arriving from David Silva, 15 yards outside the penalty area, right of centre as Spain come forward. Fabregas there in support, Juan Fran further on the right hand side. Morata has made his way into the penalty area. Nolita is in there as well, but there's no cross from Spain. They don't like to risk and just gamble by launching it in. They'll keep it on the deck if they can. Here's a ball low towards the edge of the box. Nolito can't make it stick, and Italy with Florenzi should be able to clear away on the right hand side, but he too doesn't rush that, gives it calmly infield to De Rossi. Chiellini, they're going to make a mistake here. Italy give it away on the edge of the penalty area. Fabregas launched in. Chiellini with help from Giaccherini wins it back, and Italy living a bit dangerously there, Jermaine Ginas.
Oh yes, but they don't change the way they play, Italy. They will try and play their way out of trouble. There's some experienced players back there that have been doing it year in, year out.
Here come Italy, attacking the Spanish penalty area and winning a free kick. Eder, the Inter Milan forward, taken down a few paces outside the box, wide on the left-hand side. This could be a dangerous position for the Italians.
It is a dangerous position, and we've already mentioned the weather and the effect that's had on the pitch. They'll be wanting this to be whipped in with pace, give De Gea a problem, give him something to think that he can't come and catch, because he won't want to come and collect this wet ball on this wet surface. So keep it in a dangerous zone that these players can attack.
Don't forget, you have a choice of listening on 5 Live at the moment and 5 Live Sports Extra. Euro 2016 here, the first day of Wimbledon, available right now. Commentary on our sister station 5 Live Sports Extra. Here, 0-0 in Paris. Italian free kick played into the penalty area. Pele's header saved. De Gea, excellent header and an outstanding save. Pele got it down low to the goalkeeper's left. David De Gea got down to fingertip it out for a corner. That is world-class goalkeeping.
All round it was world-class play. Great delivery into the box. I mean, from your striker, you're asking him, get the ball down, head it into the corner. That's exactly what he does. And David De Gea, how he gets down and tips that round the post, I don't know, because that should be 1-0 to Italy. It's a brilliant header from Pele, but he's just phenomenal, De Gea.
8.5 minutes played. It's already been lively here in Paris. The rain easing just a little bit as Giaccherini prepares to take the corner, rolls it short on the right hand side, then it's delivered into the penalty area by Florenzi, comes back out towards him. Let's see if Giaccherini can control this in the air, loops it. Florenzi will do very well to keep this in as it bounces by the corner flag, and he tried a wild swing of his right boot and missed the ball completely, and that goes out for a goal kick to Spain, and it's still scoreless here in Paris.
It was Busquets who ended up trying to pick up Pele, and he had absolutely no chance. Pele's out-muscled him, he's climbed above him, he's done everything right, absolutely everything right, but you can't legislate for such fantastic goalkeeping from David De Gea. It was such a brilliant save.
Conte was celebrating there, the Italian coach, soon to be Chelsea coach. He'd already clenched his fist and was punching it through the air, but then De Gea made the save impressively down to his left-hand side. Bad blood between these two in the past, of course, for years. Italy, the bogey team for Spain that we mentioned, and Spain beat the Italians 4-0 in the final 4 years ago. Here is De Rossi, plays it along the halfway line to the near touchline. Florenzi, and Italy give it back to the three-man defence.
They make the pitch so big, Connor, that it's difficult to press players. I mean, you've got one of your wing-backs literally on the touchline here, and the others on the other opposite touchline. It's so hard.
Good work, jumping in the air by Pele again. He's had a bright start to the game. This is Florenzi on the right hand side. There's a man on the back post, headed back in. Giaccherini's bicycle kick. De Gea saves onto the post.
Wow.
Well, I don't think it would have counted. The referee's whistle had blown anyway, but De Gea was not to know that. And Giaccherini, similar to the wonderful goal by Shaqiri for the Swiss the other day, I mean, at less than half the distance, he was just outside the 6-yard box, but wonderful technique. He gets it on target. De Gea saves.
And you know what? I think it's the wrong decision, Connor. I think he's given a free kick for the overhead kick for dangerous play.
For a high foot.
Yeah, I mean, he's made good contact on the ball. That's what you want to see in football. You want to see players trying out outrageous things that excite us. It's a brilliant overhead kick from him. It's a fantastic save again from De Gea. He's tipped it onto the post, but you can't be giving free kicks for that.
No. I mean, can you imagine if that had gone in? The reason it was disallowed was for a high kick.
Exactly.
A bicycle kick. Very strange. I mean, I wouldn't think there was nothing reckless or...
Not at all. And you know the worst part about the whole situation? I mean, Busquets is a player that likes to go down. I mean, we all know that. He's not one that thinks twice about trying to get a free kick. I don't think he even complained. He accepted it was a fantastic overhead kick.
England against Iceland, full commentary coming up on 5 Live at 8 o'clock with our correspondent John Murray, Alan Green as well, and Danny Mills, Mark Chapman presenting from the stadium. We'll hear from Alan Shearer and Rio Ferdinand in the build-up as well. It's a big one for England tonight. Ball played forward. Italy want an offside flag. In any event, it's nodded on by Morata, and back to Gianluigi Buffon, who was obviously left out of the game against the Republic of Ireland amid wholesale changes, but not just to rotate the squad. Buffon apparently suffering from a bit of a virus and a fever last week, but presumably precautionary as much as anything else, and he looks in good nick down there on this his 159th cap. Buffon in possession once again with the bright yellow boots. He'll hope he'll be sprinting the length of the field later on tonight and jumping on the crossbar and celebrating, which has become his ritual in this tournament. That's a ball by De Sciglio that is picked up by Giaccherini just inside the Spanish half, making good ground down the left-hand side as Italy come forward. Giaccherini, who's had that spectacular bicycle kick save, but it wouldn't have counted. This is Daniele De Rossi, 10 yards inside the Spanish half. Iniesta trying to get close here to get the ball back. Italy work it to Florenzi on the right hand side, stabs it in towards the edge of the D. There's a jump between Piqué and Pelé, and Piqué does well on that occasion and clears it long for Spain, and then Leonardo de Bonucci puts it out for a throw-in on the far side. Jermaine Genius.
I think the biggest compliment I can pay to this Italians side start to this game is the Spanish team have not been able to put 5 clean passes together. They've not really got themselves into the game. They usually dictate the pace of the game, they dictate play. They've been chasing these Italian players and trying to figure out this formation, and right now they're definitely not on top of things.
Free kick to Spain, foul on Nolito, and Iniesta takes it quickly and sprays it to the right hand side. This is Gerard Piqué. Down that right hand side is David Silva, 10 yards outside the penalty area, cuts in on his left boot as we know he likes to do. That's a good ball. Jordi Alba's arriving into the penalty area left hand side and just couldn't get anything on it to put it back into the danger area. It goes out wide. It's a goal kick to Italy. It is 0-0 on 5 Live.
It was well read from Florenzi then. It was clipped in by David Silva, and he had a decision to make. Florenzi, do I clear it or do I just let it go and hopefully it'll skip off the surface? And he read the situation perfectly.
So goal kick to Italy, and interesting that 2 of the 3 central defenders, Chiellini and Barzagli, are just sitting either side of the penalty area, and it's an obvious tactic here to allow Buffon the chance of a short pass, and that does in turn, I guess, suck the Spanish up towards the penalty area. I mean, Conte, he really is a master tactician. It's very interesting to watch the little ploys that he adopts in games to try and drag opponents out of their regular positions.
Well, what's very interesting about the whole situation is he's obviously comfortable playing 3 at the back. He does it for Juventus previous to this, and he's done it obviously now for the Italian side, and will he integrate that formation at Chelsea? Yeah. Which will be, I mean, we don't see that in the Premier League at all.
I think it's going to be lively with Conte to Stamford Bridge next season. He was wearing a suit and an open neck shirt earlier on. He's put a waterproof jacket on and a big sort of blue baseball cap. He looks like, give him a set of sort of oversized headphones and he looks like he should be in the pit lane at a Formula 1 race. He's got that sort of look about him down there, all Italian suave. Here is De Sciglio on the left hand side, back into defence again. Chiellini will turn back to Buffon, and Italy patient on the ball and have been enjoying more possession in this game so far. Quarter of an hour played. Jermaine.
They've definitely settled the best out of both of the teams. Spain are doing the majority of the chasing. That ball there that they've just played is always their out ball. Anytime they try and pop it around the back, if they get any pressure put onto them, Pella's the man. Hit him and then play from there.
De Sciglio, left hand side. That's not a good ball into the penalty area, held onto by De Gea, who has touched the ball more in this game than Iniesta, Silva and Busquets, and I think that tells you everything you need to know about the pattern here so far and how Italy are trying to disrupt any sort of passing flow from Spain. Here is Bonucci being put under a lot of pressure by Morata. Here a bouncing ball, couldn't quite get underneath it, but then a calming pass by Florenzi back into the penalty area and back to Gianluigi Buffon. Italy 0, Spain 0 here in Paris in the last 16. The winner to play Germany in Bordeaux in the quarter-final. Free kick to Italy taken quickly by De Rossi, and Chiellini now injects a bit of pace and comes over the halfway line. Lays it off to Giaccherini. De Sciglio's available further outside him. Now he comes in field. Back to De Rossi, midway inside the Spanish half. Italy playing left to right as we look down, dressed all in blue. The Spaniards in white tonight. That's not a good ball. Too far in front of De Sciglio. He won't keep it in play. And possession back to Spain. They've got a throw in right full back position for them.
I find it fascinating watching this Italian team. I really do. The risk that they take, the calmness that they possess in certain areas of the pitch on the ball. I mean, even then, you know, they're on the attack and they leave Bonucci 1v1 with Morata at the back. Usually you're always, you know, at least 2v1, but they're quite happy to commit players forward, knowing that if they lose the ball they'll either commit a cheeky foul or players will get back because they're so fit.
Free kick to Italy, some 10-12 yards inside the Spain half. Interesting to see how many bodies are pushed forward here. Florenzi has come out to try and make the pitch wide on the right hand side. The free kick and eventually is taken short back in to the Italian half. Bonucci onto Barzali, and it's the Italian fans who are trying to rouse the atmosphere now and finding their voice away to our left hand side. I see an individual in a Juventus shirt standing clapping with hands in the air. Chiellini onto De Sciglio, and a high careless clearance into the centre circle, but although Ramos wins the header, he can't hold on to the ball for Spain, and Italy get it back once again.
It's a common pattern that I keep seeing. The Italians get it, they pop it around, it goes to Bonucci, to Chiellini, and then if the Rossi's not on, they just go straight into Pella. And right now he's winning that battle between Ramos and Piqué.
Well, Italy really made the world stand up and take notice with their win against Belgium at the start of the competition. That defeat with the weakened team to the Republic of Ireland last week, Italy's first defeat in 13 competitive games under Antonio Conte. Here is Sergio Ramos, Spain's number 15. This is his 6th successive major tournament for his country, but they've given the ball away here. Here come Italy on the right hand side. And Conte will be very pleased with the way this game have started. Italy have had most of the ball, and they've definitely created the best chances. Here comes Florenzi down the right hand side, the ball just skidding on the wet surface, and that's where that downpour of rain worked against Italy there. It wasn't a bad ball over the top, but once it hit the surface it didn't stick, it skidded, and that went out for a goal kick to Spain. So Italy 0, Spain 0. And De Gea, who's been busy so far, wearing yellow, placing the ball in front of the majority of Spanish supporters, their house behind that goal, away to our right hand side. And now the rain has stopped, out comes the sunshine in Paris. It's been a funny old month for the weather here in June in the French capital. Elsewhere further south, lovely sunshine for Euro 2016, but in around Paris we've seen a lot of rain. Here is David Silva to the left hand side to Nolito, now into the penalty area, looks up, picks out Fabregas, shoots, very good block. Mattia De Sciglio bravely throwing his body in front of Cesc Fabregas and making sure Buffon doesn't have a shot to save. That's the best build up we've seen from Spain so far.
We have, and it was a long ball from De Gea, flick on for Morata. And it was Nolito's little bit of brilliance on this left-hand side that finds Cesc Fabregas, and he should do better. He takes a very good first touch, but as he goes to strike it, it's like it just comes off the end of his toe. He didn't strike it cleanly at all, but fair play to the Italian defence, throwing their bodies in front of it to block it.
Spain trying to get Iniesta on the ball, but he's not had more than a few touches in this game so far. This is Juan Fran, just over the halfway line on the right for Spain, back into Piqué, and he in turn will deliver it backwards onto the goalkeeper David De Gea. Italy come right up to press with Eder to the edge of the penalty area. De Gea clears long. De Rossi wins the header, picked up in midfield by Iniesta for Spain. Lays it off to the left hand side. This is David Silva. Outside him, Jordi Alba, encouraged to keep going forward on that left hand side from Fabregas. And now Spain come back in field with Iniesta once again, and Spain will now try to come down the right. This is Piqué, once of Manchester United, of course, the Barcelona defender. Only 14 starts at Old Trafford in his 4 years at the club. Here is Fabregas, 15 yards outside the penalty area, central location. To his left, Jordi Alba, time to steady himself. Oh, he's put too much on the cross. Delivered towards the back post. His teammates were in the middle, and that harmlessly goes out for a goal kick. 0-0, Jermaine Genius.
It's much better from Spain now. They're starting to get a little bit of control in those midfield areas. But when it goes wide to Jordi Alba there, I mean, we've spoke about the rain on a number of occasions and the ball skidding out of play. It's just crying out for someone just to smash it across that 6-yard box. You just don't know what's going to happen. It's definitely slippy down there, and for defenders to have to clear that or keepers to come and get it, it's a nightmare.
Nicely done. Busquets to Iniesta, and out to the right wing now to Silva. Morata makes a run towards the byline right hand side. His attempted cross goes off Chiellini, and Spain very efficiently win a corner.
Good bit of play. I mean, it's not an area of the pitch you want Morata, really. You want him in the middle of the pitch, trying to be on the end of that cross that he's just tried to put into the box. But here's a corner for Spain and an opportunity.
Piqué has come up from the back. Only Jordi Alba staying in defence. It's rolled to a deep position to Iniesta, who looks up, sends it into the penalty area. Ramos goes down, looking for a penalty. Got in a tangle with Chiellini. And the referee, who is Cüneyt Çakır, the Turk, the hugely experienced international referee, he's having none of that and waves play on.
Yeah, it's a dive from Ramos. I mean, I was about to say before the corner was taken that these Italians, I've been watching them at these European Championships, and they're very clever. at this almost holding game and blocking players, and I'm guessing that Spain have done their homework and had a little bit of a look at that, thinking the referees would have seen it as well, because there really wasn't much contact there and Ramos has gone down, but I'm sure the referee will have it in his mind.
Yeah, there is a little tug on the jersey from Chiellini, but nothing you would see in any set piece. But Ramos goes down like he's been struck. Yeah. Ball bounces inside the centre circle, collected by Iniesta. There's a collision between two players, Busquets and Pella, and the referee just says we'll play on. Nothing untoward there, and Spain have it out in the sunshine on the far side. Tea time here in Paris. Italy 0, Spain 0. And the downpour of rain has now stopped, but of course a lot of moisture still down there on the pitch. Jordi Alba in field to Sergio Ramos, and on to Piqué on the right hand side, all the way across the back four. Juanfran, good ball into Fabregas. Juanfran sets off for a run on the right hand side. Now referee has spotted something here, and he's running across and he's showing a yellow card to De Chilio. Well, this is interesting now. This is for something off the ball, I think when Juanfran is trying to run on the overlap.
Yeah, he's gone to play a 1-2 with Cesc Fabregas, Juanfran has, and as he's played the 1-2, he was ahead of De Chilio, and I thought, why isn't Cesc passing him the ball back? But De Chilio, he's got a handful of his shirt and he's pulling him back, and I think it's a good decision from the referee, because if he gets in, there's a very good opportunity for Juanfran to put in a good delivery from a very good area of the pitch. Another instance though of this Italian team trying to be clever.
Juanfran on the right hand side after Spain take the free kick. David Silva with a crossfield ball that was briefly intercepted by Parolo, but Italy struggle to hold on to possession. Spain growing into this one. We've now played midway through the first half. Iniesta, good run to the edge of the penalty area, tried to play a low pass in, and it was well anticipated and intercepted. And now Bonucci, what a charge that is to the central defender, deep into Spanish territory, and he keeps running. Giaccherini takes it up now on the left hand side. Bonucci's in the area, so too up there is Pella. De Rossi, excellent pass to De Chilio on the left hand side, time to steady himself, good ball in, Parolo's header is wide. Really good build up from Italy, excellent chance, but it's wide. It's still Italy 0, Spain 0.
Every time they go on the attack, something happens, something positive comes from their attack. They get the ball wide, they get the ball into the box, good deliveries, and they get players in those areas attacking the ball, and it's another good opportunity there. This one to Parolo on his head, skids off and goes wide, but it's coming for this Italian team. If they keep attacking like that, I can't see them not scoring.
Here's a stat for you, Jermaine, from our friends at Opta. Spain have not conceded a goal in the knockout stages of a European Championships since Yuri Georgiev in 2000. That's the last time they conceded a goal in a knockout game. 670 minutes of football in the knockout stages, and what a record that is, by the way. Italy in possession, 0-0 here. Pella, good ball to the near touchline, and Florenzi, who's the right wing back, likes to get forward as the three-man central defensive system allows him to do. Here is Parolo, who had that header just a moment ago, the Lazio man. He's never scored an international goal. It was a really good chance. Here's De Rossi now inside the centre circle, turns and gives it back to Bonucci, who in many ways has taken over from Pirlo as the sort of man who pings those long balls up to the strikers. Bonucci on the ball once again here in the centre circle, but Morata has gone down and the referee has blown his whistle and he wants to have a word, and the Italians are not happy. Morata slow to get back up to his feet.
Didn't see much in that.
He's holding his chin, Morata. I'm just wondering, was he caught with an elbow?
Yeah, he was. I mean, there's a coming together. I wouldn't say it's anything deliberate from Parolo. His arm is up, but every now and again this happens. You have coming togethers every now and again in the middle of the park. Unfortunate there, really, to cost his side a free kick,
which is taken by Busquets, short to Iniesta. Spain on the halfway line. David Silva, right hand side, sort of 5/6 of the pitch is in shade, but there's a strip along the touchline, corner flag to corner flag on the far side from us that's bathed in sunshine. Juanfran is out there at the moment, gives it back into Fabregas. Only Morata waiting inside the penalty area for Spain. Juanfran with a lot of work here to do just to hold on to possession, gives it short into Iniesta, and Iniesta sends it back to the halfway line once again. Italy fall back into a defensive formation. Spain, wearing white tonight, come at them. David Silva back to Iniesta. Very uncharacteristic poor ball from Iniesta. calls Ramos to scamper over to the near touchline, but he's composed his Ramos, and he sends it back across the field over to the right back, Juan Fran. Low ball to the halfway line to David Silva, who's been allowed to turn, and plenty of green grass opening up in front of David Silva now. Gives it to the edge of the area to Nolito. Iniesta, that's beautifully weighted. Jordi Alba's cross, tried to pick out Morata, and it's cleared away out by the corner flag. It's a corner to Spain. There was something building in that move that just suggests Spain might be finding their groove in this game.
Definitely, they moved the ball a lot quicker, and it was the ball from Iniesta that said to Alba, get this one across the edge of the 6-yard box.
Nolito takes it short again, same tactic as last time, to Iniesta, hits it low, bounces in front of Buffon, and Buffon falls down on it to save.
Yeah, it was a poor strike from Iniesta in the end. He's on the edge of the box, didn't catch it cleanly, and it hits De Rossi on the calves, takes the pace out of the ball, and it was an easy one to collect from Buffon.
The weight of that pass from Iniesta, it was firm enough to take out the fullback, but it was never going to go out of play.
Sometimes passes just tell a story, and the story was, don't take a touch, whip it first time across the 6-yard box. And to be fair to Jordi Alba, that's what he did. It was just a good block from Bonucci.
Italy in possession, 0-0 here. Italy, who started strongly in the second round game, but Spain growing into things. A chest down from Pella. Eder couldn't quite get the angle for a shot, but gives out to De Chilio. Really good ball in, and almost into his own net from Sergio Ramos. It's gone for a corner. He is the luckiest man in Paris, because he scuffed his clearance. It could have gone anywhere. It did go out for a corner.
But there's two things there. Number one, Pella has to get in front of him. I don't know why he's hanging out around the back post, because again, that pass said to me, this is coming across the edge of the 6-yard box on the floor. Get across your man and try and stick it in the back of the net. But again, the surface of is coming into play, the pace that's coming off this grass, and Sergio Ramos gets very lucky.
Yep, relief for Spain. Now they face this Italian corner, which Florenzi will take on the right hand side. This is 5 Live for the BBC. Florenzi's cross, header, and up and over the top, and it was De Rossi who went for it. The referee says it came off his Spanish head,
off Piqué,
and that is a corner to Italy again.
Good header from Piqué in the end. I mean, I think Piqué's free, and he's gone to help Jordi Alba. He knows that he's in trouble marking De Rossi, and he says, you know what, you need a bit of help.
He comes over the back of his teammate.
Comes over the back and helps him out. Good header.
Good spot. England against Iceland coming up at 8 o'clock. Italy take the corner short here, and Giaccherini will cross towards the back post. Good jump in there from Piqué again, and there was pushing, and the referee says that is a free kick for Spain.
It's a ploy that's going to cause Spain a lot of problems. They keep giving away set pieces. Just looking around the team eerily, I think the Italians have got the advantage, and you can see that because every time a cross comes into that box, I mean, Pella, Eder, whoever's making those runs into there, it was Parolo who missed the last header, they're getting joy from it, so they need to keep doing that.
Half an hour played exactly at Stade de France, and it's turned into a very pleasant evening here after the downpour of rain right at kickoff. There's now even some bits of blue sky beginning to peek through the clouds up ahead, but bright sunshine. Most of the huge stands here at Stade de France keeping the pitch in shade, as Chiellini, no chances outside his penalty area, just strokes the ball back to Buffon. So 0-0 it is, and Italy looking to work their way out of defence with Chiellini once again, and to De Chilio on the left, the one man who's been booked. Italy have 10 players in their squad who, if they were to be booked tonight, would miss the quarter-final. De Chilio not one of those, as Silva tries to get to the ball, but he's well beaten to it by De Rossi. That was solid in midfield. Here is Eder to the right-hand side for Italy, to Florenzi, comes over the halfway line, back in field once again to Parolo, who had a good chance for the header a few minutes ago. De Rossi looks to make the pitch wide with a good ball out to De Chilio on the left. Excellent first touch from him. Giaccherini nearly lost his footing but holds onto the ball. Italy come back infield again. Daniele De Rossi midway inside the Spanish half, low to the feet of Pella, tried to turn, and it's a free kick to Italy just outside the D. The foul by Gerard Piqué.
It's very clever play from Graziano Pella. He knows that, I think it's Sergio Ramos, that he's going to try and nick this, but he gets his body in the way. And he says, come on, you go and take this ball off me, and I'm going to go down. It's exactly what he does. And this is in a very dangerous area of the pitch. In that little pattern of play there, De Rossi is so important to this Italian team. There's times where you think they're in trouble, and all of a sudden De Rossi just pops up, always free, hand up, give it to me, switches play. He really does control things for this Italian side. He's so important. It's surprising me that Spain haven't just gone, you know what, I don't know, Cesc or Iniesta, just go and stay on him. You go and play on him, get Busquets away from the back four, and we'll try and just play from here. But usually, good players and good teams, they figure these things out, but it's taken this Spanish side a lot longer than I thought it would.
So this is the situation. The Italian free kick is one pace outside the D. The Spanish wall will be built in a line along the penalty spot, and De Gea crouching down at his left post to make sure that he's happy with the location of the wall, and then he walks across to the right hand side as he looks out to try and get a glimpse of this. Well, Eder is the man who's placing the ball. Looks like he might fancy striking it, but De Rossi wants to be involved in the conversation as well. All 11 players back in the penalty area. It is Eder. It's saved. De Gea can't hold it, and it's bundled in. There's no offside flag, and Chiellini puts Italy in front against Spain at Stade de France. Eder's free kick only parried by David De Gea, and alert and following up was Giorgio Chiellini on his 87th cap. That's only his 7th ever international goal. It is of huge importance for the Italians.
Well, you can't say that it hasn't been coming in. You definitely can't say that they haven't deserved it. They've been the better side. It was a brilliant strike. I'm not sure whether De Gea can do better with it, but the one thing that I would say is you've got 4 Italian players following up to put that into the back of the net. If I was David De Gea, I'd be saying, where are you helping me out? Granted, I probably should have got it away from goal, but where were you? Gerard Piqué is the only defender that's almost read the situation to say, let me try and help you out.
He leans to his left, De Gea, just before the ball is struck, so then he's diving to his right. But then when he parries it initially, it's Giaccherini who's following up, and De Gea, we know from Manchester United, he's good with his feet. He tries to come out and slide tackle him, and all that does is set it up for Chiellini.
It was a difficult one to stop as well, Connor, because they set it up on the wall with the 2 Italian players on the end of the wall, so they're blocking De Gea's view. So the plan is to smash it at the Italian players, and we'll get out of the way. So he sees it late anyway, and then it's wet. It's a tough one for him to stick away. The defenders should have been on their toes helping out, but brilliant from the Italians, and that's that Opta stat out the window, I think.
Yeah. since Djorkaeff in Euro 2000. Spain have conceded here, 10 minutes to half time, and it's Italy 1, Spain 0, and the Spaniards, of course, who, this generation of players have enjoyed such unprecedented success with the back-to-back Euros and the World Cup. But having not got past the group stages in 2014 in Brazil, it would be seen as a huge disappointment if Spain, with the talented players at their disposal, were to leave this tournament in the last 16. Long way to go, of course, but it's first blood to Italy and Chiellini's goal.
It is, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking they need to change something. This isn't the Spain that I've been used to watching, or the players aren't playing the way that I see them play week in, week out. They need some pace on the team, in the side.
And let's see what they can do now. Juan Fran onto David Silva on the right hand side. Again, it's only Morata in the penalty area. Silva gets the edge of the box. 10 men behind the ball for Italy. Iniesta tries a pass. It comes back to him, but he's crunched from behind by Pella. It's a free kick.
Don't think that's a free kick.
Referee has given one, but I know what you're saying. Yeah,
I really don't think that's a free kick at all. I think it's either De Rossi or Bonucci nicks the ball. Well, it's Pella actually, but he nicks the ball, gets a toe on it. Every now and again when you're going in for tackles, if you get the ball, you can't stop the momentum of your body. You're going to catch players. And I think Iniesta, not saying he went over easy, but the referee I think he let him off there.
So free kick to Spain. It's quite a way outside the penalty area, probably 12-14 yards, something like that. But David Silva is placing the ball with consideration, and Italy bring everyone back to defend it. So Italy 1, Spain 0. And the referee just marking out the 10 paces for the Italian wall, just a 2-man wall. I mean, it would be some strike to score from here. Mind you, we've seen a few in this tournament, but you would imagine this will be floated in.
Yeah, he's not going to hit this. I don't think this is... No. David Silva don't tend to hit them from 30-odd yards.
Gareth Bale would have a go. Yeah. Here is David Silva, and he loops it in, and Ramos with a kung fu kick leaps in the air, but cannot get a touch, and that's disappointing from Spain. It's straight out for a goal kick.
It's a good line from the Italians. They hold the line so high, and they drop very late, so that ball that they're dropping it in, that space that David Silva's trying to drop the ball into, it's difficult for Ramos to try and make up that space because they're so high up the pitch.
just seeing a replay again of the goal, and you know, Piqué's the only Spanish defender who runs back.
It's unbelievable, because especially in these conditions, you can't expect your goalkeeper to hold on to everything. For him to be the only one is, it's pretty poor from them defenders.
Yeah. Free kick, you know, outside the penalty area, drilled in low. De Gea spills it. There's only one defender. There's about 3 Italians.
Yeah.
And they're all just sort of standing and turning and looking to see where it's going to rebound rather than getting back there. So Chiellini's goal, the difference. De Gea in possession, clears straight down the field for Spain. Don't forget England against Iceland. Full commentary coming up here on 5 Live at 8 o'clock. Mark Chapman in the stadium. We'll be hearing from Alan Shearer and Rio Ferdinand in the build-up. Danny Mills, part of our commentary team, once the action is underway. Spain win a corner, left-hand side. Nolito with great urgency now sprints across to place the ball. Now, a lot of times in this game he's taken corners back to a deep position to Iniesta. Look, no one's marking Iniesta again if they want to do that option another time here. This time Nolito does send it into the box, and it's punched away by Gianluigi Buffon, and a big guttural roar of approval for that from the Italian fans who are behind that goal away to our left-hand side. Juan Fran sends it to the right-hand side towards Busquets. He's not able to keep it in play, but it did take a touch off an Italian, and that means a throw into Spain, taken quickly to David Silva, 10 yards inside the Italian half, right-hand side of the field. Back into the centre circle and Sergio Ramos, and now to the near touchline and Jordi Alba. We've not seen Spain at their best in this game. 1 or 2 flashes, but nothing consistent from them so far. This is Juan Fran, crossing position on the right-hand side. De Chilio getting close to him. Giaccherini with lots of hard work. They say that Conte really likes Giaccherini for his endeavour. Puts a lot of miles in. Here is Iniesta, left-hand side of the penalty area. His early ball in comes back out, but this is Jordi Alba on the left-hand side. Back to Iniesta. Spain have got 4 or 5 in the penalty area. Iniesta tries to play a 1-2 with Fabregas. It's too intricate. Italy are able to step in and disrupt, and then they'll come away on the right-hand side. And that's really good running here now by Eder. Oh, he's made up great ground, almost to the edge of the penalty area. Just looked up, Pele was behind him. He didn't want to send it in for little Giaccherini in the air. But here come the Italians now with De Rossi. Tried a blind pass. It was a good idea, but he didn't quite pick out Giaccherini.
It was a good idea. I mean, from minute 1 in this game, Eder has felt like he's had Sergio Ramos for pace, and I think you could see it then. Ramos did not fancy it 1v1 for pace. He went to go for the tackle, realised he was too late, and by that time he was in trouble. He got back well, but Eder has really started this game very well.
Italy in possession. Italy have the lead, and this is Florenzi crossing from the right hand side, but Iniesta picks it up for Spain. Now let's see if he can inject some momentum into his team. Fabregas is on his left. Good ball by Nolito. Back to Iniesta again. A little bit outnumbered there on the edge of the penalty area. Chiellini trying to get up close. Easier said than done against Iniesta, but Chiellini has done his job. The ball runs loose. Someone has left the boot in on De Rossi. It's Nolito, and he goes in the referee's notebook. Free kick to Italy and a yellow card for Nolito. Only the second Spaniard to be booked at this tournament so far.
I'll be very surprised if I don't see some changes from this Spanish team in the second half. I mean, I said to you before the game, Connor, that it surprises me that Hector Bellerin doesn't play in this team. I think Juan Fran defensively is a very good player, but from an attacking point of view, Bellerin gives you a lot more, and he was a late call-up. He had to be an injury that got him into the squad, which also surprised me. But if that situation there was crying out for someone like a Bellerin, you got Iniesta making things happen in midfield. He gets his head up, looks out wide, there's nobody there. Juan Fran's nowhere to be seen. So they need to get some pace on this pitch. I'd like to see Thiago Alcantara on the pitch, someone that can go by players, make some just do something different. It's so predictable watching them. They just pass it around, gets to Alba, puts in a cross.
Spain are completely blessed with right backs. Juan Fran, Daniel Caraval was the man who dropped out to allow Bellerin be called up. They've also got Mario Gaspar. You might remember him, scored that brilliant volley against England in November. He didn't even get in the squad. But yeah, it just looks like with all the talent at their disposal, Spain aren't quite making the sum of the parts work at the moment. Long way to go, of course. We've got 3.5 minutes or so to half time here, building up to the England game, of course, during the break. Free kick is taken. This is David Silva, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Right of centre as Spain come forward. That's a decent ball into Nolito in the box. He tries to turn, drags it back. Piqué was the intended target, but it's nipped away by Eder, and that's going to go out for a throw into Spain on the far side, and they will remain on the attack. A frustrated looking Fabregas takes the throw. This is Busquets. To the left is Iniesta, just pulling away, trying to find some space here, trying to stretch the Italian defence open. Iniesta now attempts a long crossfield pass looking for Juan Fran. Perfect delivery from Iniesta. Juan Fran heads it down, and then Fabregas with the trip, and that is going to be a free kick to Italy.
Yeah, it's not really a bad foul. I think he's stuck his leg out to try and nick the ball, and De Sciglio kind of made a little bit of a meal out of it. Had a few rolls, stayed down there for a little bit longer than he probably should have done, but I think he felt that the team maybe just need to regroup, take a bit of pressure off my defence. It's clever, I have to say, it's very clever.
And Spain being frustrated here by the Italians. Italy 1, Spain 0 if you're just joining us. The goal from Chiellini after De Gea spilt a free kick, and the Spanish defence were slow to react. Chiellini wasn't. He stormed in for his 7th international goal. Goal kick here to the Italians, and Buffon away to our left hand side, who's been relatively untroubled in this game.
Very untroubled. He's had very little to deal with, and that's because, you know, I feel that they're very predictable, this Spain side. Morata's had nothing. I mean, he gets criticised a little bit in this side, and they haven't brought Diego Costa because he hasn't scored many goals at international level either, but you can almost see why they haven't. They don't seem to get the ball into those dangerous areas of the pitch enough for their strikers to score goals.
De Rossi's done well in that midfield. He's up against some illustrious names tonight, but he's bossing things. Italy have it with Chiellini, the goal scorer, at the back onto De Sciglio. It's a good ball up to Graziano Pelle, and the Southampton man keeps this move going. Parolo to the edge of the penalty area. Florenzi now gives it a decent cross. Giaccherini was at the back post, but De Gea gets down to save it.
The angle on the cross was terrible. It needed to be cut back more. It was almost just like a weak shot in the end. He just puts that a lot more square across the 6-yard box. They've got a bigger problem.
Iniesta definitely trying to inject some pace in the game, and he's got on the ball recently. He's thrusting forward. At the moment, though, Parolo gets close to him. Iniesta back on the ball again, back from Jordi Alba. Gives it short to David Silva, more central location now for him. Onto Fabregas on the edge of the box. These are all short passes, 5-6 yards. Back again to Iniesta, closer to the halfway line than he is the penalty area. Low to the feet of Nolito. Once again, Nolito goes down in a lump, surrounded by 4 Italians. Italy nick the ball, and they look like they're going to play their way out of trouble. Spain are playing some pretty stuff here, but it's not effective. And now Italy can launch a counter-attack. Here comes Pelle. There's an Italian down injured, but they'll play on. Pelle, who's got Giaccherini outside him on the left. Support slow to come. Giaccherini comes in field, shoots. Good save by De Gea. Well, I think that was going in, and De Gea diving to his left puts it out for a corner.
I think just to say that David De Gea has been Spain's best player by an absolute mile tells you everything you need to know about this game. Beautiful little passage of play from Italy there, and Giaccherini does everything right, and that's going top corner.
That's gone in, yeah.
What a save that is from De Gea.
Excellent save. Not the first he's had to make tonight. He's been by far the busier of the two goalkeepers. 1 minute being added on for stoppages here at the end of the first half. The corner by Florenzi, flicked onto the front post, but it exits the penalty area on the far side. De Sciglio gets there first for Italy ahead of David Silva, but all he can do is turn and roll it back into his own half and all the way back to Buffon. But Italy will take this. If they could go to the dressing rooms at half time 1-0 up, that'll do very nicely for them.
Well, you can just tell exactly by the way they're playing here. Buffon taking his time, doesn't want to pick it up, quite happy to pass it. They'll pop it around. I mean, look, no one's even close to anybody. They get that ball back because they got lucky. It was a bad passage of play.
Iniesta gets it back. He's got Fabregas to his right hand side. Fabregas allows the ball to run through to David Silva, launches one into the penalty area. Jordi Alba was arriving on the left, and that will indeed be that. So it's the end of the first half at Stade de France. It's the goal from Chiellini, and this makes it a very interesting game now. The Italians, look at them, they're congratulating each other as they leave the field. They have done the business here in the opening 45 minutes. Jermaine Genius.
Oh, they've absolutely battered them, Connor. That's why they're congratulating each other. They've dictated the pace of play, the passage of play. They've passed it around confidently. They've created far more opportunities. If I was them, I'd be slightly disappointed that I'm not going in 2 or 3-0 up from Spain's point of view, something needs to change. They need more pace on the pitch, and they need to somehow change the course of this game, because they're going out as it stands.
Yep, Spain must improve in the second half, or the holders of the European Championships are going to leave this competition in the last 16. Chiellini's goal, Italy 1, Spain 0 at the break. Yes, thank you very much, Mark. We've been disappointed with Spain in that opening 45 minutes, and I think it's safe to say that their coach Vicente Del Bosque has been disappointed as well, because he's going to make a change, and it is going to be up front and some fresh legs to come into the team. Nolito will depart, and Aritz Aduriz, the Atletico Bilbao striker, the 35-year-old, comes on, the number 20, to play as the big striker up front. In March he scored against Italy. When he did so, he surpassed a record Fenrik Puskás had as the oldest player to make his first start for Spain. This guy brings late developer to a whole new level. At 35 years of age, suddenly he's been thrust in to the big scene at the European Championships.
Well, I said they needed a change. I'm not sure that was the one that I thought was going to happen, and it's going to be interesting to see how they line up. I mean, if they remain the same, it seems that Morata will go onto that left-hand side where Nolito was, and whether that's because they didn't feel that Morata was getting any joy out of that back three of Italy from an aerial point of view, I'm not sure, but they didn't seem to be troubled. It's going to be interesting to see the difference that he brings to the game.
Yeah, Aritz Aduriz might not be a familiar household name to many, but in the last 2 seasons he's been the top scoring Spaniard in La Liga. Obviously a lot of foreigners will score more goals than him, but he's been the man who's scored the most goals of Spanish nationality, and it looks like he will be the spearhead through the centre. And as you said, Jermaine, Morata goes to the left hand side. We're back underway here. Italy 1-0 up at Stade de France. This is De Sciglio, first attack of the second half, sends it across the edge of the penalty area where Parolo, it wouldn't just sit up for him, it was bouncing, and it wouldn't come down from to hit it. Yeah,
it was spinning viciously, and when that ball's spinning, it's a tough one to hit.
Here's a chance though, into the penalty area, low cross and stretching, it's put out for a corner. Italy beginning the second half in the same determined mood they finished the first.
They just seem quicker, they seem fitter, they seem stronger. They've always got runners, this Italian side. You know, whether it's coming from Parolo, Florenzi, Giaccherini, they've always got runners that this Spanish team just don't seem to be able to handle.
Yeah, well, long way to go, and you wouldn't write off Spain, but they just seem disjointed. Here is the corner to be taken on the right hand side. Oh, it passed through a few bodies there. Eventually it was I think Sergio Ramos who hooked it away out of the penalty area, and Italy get it back on the left hand side, and a chance to send in a cross, and that's a good little disguised ball by Bonucci into the penalty area, and then Giaccherini lost his footing at the crucial moment, and Spain through Juan Fran cleared away. Throw it to Spain on the right hand side. Italy leading 1-0. Chiellini's goal, which came 12 minutes before half time.
It's nice to see them come out and start this game in the second half exactly the way they finished it though, Connor. A lot of teams I've seen in this tournament, when they go a goal up, they try and hold on to exactly that one goal that they've got, and it tends to cost them. I don't think this Italian side seems to have that thought in their mind. They maybe feel that they need to get one more. They know there's a lot of gifted players in this Spanish team, and if they create one opportunity, they're right back in it.
Silva chases up the field, but De Sciglio was back there. The header gives a first touch to Aritz Aduriz, but he's not able to do anything with it, and Italy have possession on the left hand side. This is the goal scorer, Chiellini, hooks it towards the touchline, where Giaccherini's furious because they've said the ball's gone out of play. Giaccherini felt he kept it in. Conte, who was directly behind him, he felt the Italians had kept the ball in, but the officials have given the throw into Spain, and it's already been taken. So 1-0 Italy lead, and Spain needing more urgency, needing more flair, and so many talented individuals, but it's just not clicking for whatever reason tonight so far. Here is Sergio Ramos, and to his right hand side Gerard Piqué. Again, it's to the right back Juan Fran, and it's almost predictable from Spain. Juan Fran onto David Silva. That's a good return ball, and the cross hits the arms of Bonucci, and the referee says, well, that's not a natural position for those arms to be. His hands were in the air. It's a free kick for handball. It's outside the penalty area, crossing position on the right.
I think it's harsh, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he does too much wrong. Yes, it's his arm, but I wouldn't say they were in an unnatural position. He was just stretching out, and it caught
do you know what works against him there? It hits his left arm, but as it does, he waves his right arm in the air, so it looks like he's waving both arms. But actually, you're right, the arm that it struck wasn't necessarily in the wrong position, but the free kick has been given. It's close to the corner angle of the penalty area on the right hand side. Italy 1, Spain 0. This is 5 Live for the BBC. England Iceland to come later. Here comes the ball in, flicked on at the front post after David Silva's free kick, and out for a corner. Corner to Spain. Iniesta jogs out to take it.
You can hear the Spanish fans roaring, trying to get behind their team. They know they need something. They need that extra man because it's not happening for them so far.
Corner is taken short once again, and a header, and it's saved by Buffon. Well, I think the referee would have blown a whistle for a foul on an Italian defender had that gone in, but Buffon made the save for Morata, and the officials were happy to play on. It was such a wild wave of his arms from the referee that I think that would have been a free kick for the push in the defender.
Yeah,
it's hard to know.
It all seemed a little bit too calm, like a decision was about to be made. If not, it was an opportunity missed.
That's
Big one.
Voice of Jermaine Genius watching this game of this here inside Stade de France in Paris. We've played 4 minutes in the second half. Giaccherini tries to set off at a tricky run down the left, but he fooled himself. Left the ball behind him. Spain pick it up, and Fabregas now comes over the halfway line. He's got Morata to his left-hand side. Aduriz has moved his way into the middle. Morata, it looks like he's looking for a free kick here on the edge of the box, and nothing doing with the referee, and Marco Parolo will clear away from Italy, and increasingly they're just happy to sit deep here as well and just pump it away into Spanish territory.
And Morata already looks happier on that left hand side. He's got an opportunity to actually turn and run at the defenders rather than having to receive the ball with his back to play all the time.
Morata, who has scored 3 goals in this tournament, free kick to Spain here. If he gets one tonight, he'll be the top goal scorer of the tournament so far. So free kick to Spain midway inside the Italian half for the foul on Iniesta.
Can't forget either, Connor is playing against 3 defenders that know him very well. Day in, day out they see him on the training pitch, so they know exactly what he's good at.
Yeah, Morata, the Juventus striker, and he's up against Barzagli and Bonucci and Chiellini. Here is the Spanish free kick played in by Fabregas. Chiellini wins the header, hooked back in by Piqué. There was no power on it though, and Buffon will just run off his line over to the right hand side and pick it up on the edge of his penalty area. Spain still trail 1-0.
Decent delivery from Cesc Fabregas. That there's a couple of deliveries that have come into the box now that have caused this Italian team a few more problems than they did in the first half. They seem in far more control over set pieces in the first half. They're a little bit rattled at the minute, this Italian side. They need to kind of get control again.
Poor clearance from Chiellini there. It's gone straight out of play for a throw-in. Throw into Spain on the right back, Juan Fran, infield to David Silva. Comes up to the halfway line, passes it out to Aduriz, and he holds it up for the arriving Juan Fran once again. Spain working hard just to get into Italian territory. Iniesta onto David Silva, turns midway inside the Italian half. To the left hand side, there's a bit of room here for Fabregas. He's 10 yards outside the penalty area, he hits it, and it was always going to be too high. Goal kick to Italy.
It was the wrong option as well. Jordi Alba was in a brilliant position out on the left hand side. He finally got himself into some space out there, and Cesc Fabregas decides to have a shot from 25 yards, which flies way over the crossbar.
Worth noting that Cesc Fabregas, who is still in his 20s, is making his 110th international appearance for Spain tonight, which is incredible. Header away on the edge of the box by Barzagli. It's not a good one. Straight to Busquets. He tries to cross. That hits the back of De Rossi and goes out for a throw into Spain, who are really struggling to get a rhythm going here. They've got an urgency now, but not quite the momentum to go with it. Back towards the halfway line, Gerard Piqué.
He's a substitute. I think Conte's not happy with something. I don't know whether it's De Rossi or what, but Thiago Motta looks like he's going to be coming onto the pitch very soon.
Yeah, here comes Spain into David Silva in the penalty area. Oh, he tried to tee up Iniesta, and it was good work by Eder, the striker, who was back helping out the defence to just make sure Iniesta would not get onto that ball on the edge of the penalty area. So here comes the change then. We've played only 7 and a bit minutes in the second half, but the change is that Daniel De Rossi will leave the field.
He's not happy.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he's got a knock, or is this tactical?
Didn't look like he had a knock to me. I mean, he had his hands on his hips at first, just to say, like, he's serious. I mean, I think he's gave the ball away once or twice in the second half, but it wasn't enough to just completely drag him. But
yeah, he's not happy, is he? Look at him now coming off the field. Daniel De Rossi, little slap of the hands with Thiago Motta, the Paris Saint-Germain midfielder. And then a curt little exchange with Antonio Conte, but De Rossi was very good in the first half. And as you say, 2 bad passes early second half. That's the kind of coach Conte is. He doesn't mess around.
He doesn't. I mean, I watched the game against Belgium, and in the second half against Belgium, he tired a lot more, De Rossi, and you could sense that in a few passes going astray, not getting as close to players as he did in the first half. And maybe Conte just realised that he can give me a good 45 to 60 minutes, and then he has to come off. And today, he got 53. So. That's your lot.
Pella, the Southampton striker, has been booked. Again, he's not one of the 10 Italians who were on a yellow card coming into the game, so that on its own would not rule him out of a quarter-final against Germany, assuming that Italy progress. Now, Pella, who's just been booked, has run forward and clattered into Sergio Busquets. And the referee kept sprinting over towards him, and I think we can safely say that is a final warning for Graziano Pella. Ball through for Spain, scampering after it goes Aduriz, but he's not going to get there, and Buffon right to the edge of his penalty area dives down on the ball.
I think we can safely say he changed his mind as well, Connor. Usually when a referee starts sprinting towards you like that,
something's going to happen.
He's about to make a decision. Here we go.
Maybe he just realised it's the same guy. Here comes Eder, really good pace into the penalty area. De Gea comes out and saves. Excellent goalkeeping again from David De Gea. He is keeping Spain in this game, and Italy could be 3-0 up at this stage.
4. He's unbelievable, De Gea. He actually is. I mean, you can say what you want about the free kick. If it wasn't for him, they'd be well and truly out of this contest today. That 1v1 there, that's a massive turning point in this game.
Made an absolute world-class save in the first half. De Gea diving down to his left to clear the ball away, saving really well there from Eder as well. And Italy unfortunate not to have doubled their lead. Spain take a free kick on the halfway line. Busquets to Iniesta. Spain wearing their white strip tonight. This is David Silva, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Low ball in towards the edge, then it's scooped up into the air. Aduriz was peeling away at the back post, but it won't come from him. Then he's very strong in the shoulder charge against De Chilio, and the Italian wing-back puts it out for a throw into Spain. Bit of muscle being shown there by the Spaniards.
Yeah, but De Chilio matched him, won the battle in the air, and then went after the second ball and won that also. It was a good battle.
Now remember, Spain choosing not to select Diego Costa for this tournament, as Sergio Ramos sends possession wide on the left-hand side, and Jordi Alba back into Iniesta. We've not seen the best of so far tonight. Up to Morata. 3 goals already this tournament. He is tripped. That's a free kick to Spain.
Not a foul either, not a foul.
Free kick taken quickly to the right hand side to David Silva, gets to within 2 yards of the penalty area. Chiellini comes charging out to meet him, then the cross is swung in there, decent cross as well by Juan Fran, and the header goes over the top.
That was crazy. I'm not sure how he's managed to land like that, but as he goes into the air, I think it's Parolo. He runs into him as Aduriz goes for the header, and as he hits him in the hip, he almost makes him do a front flip, and he does well not to hurt. Well, he's still down us.
Yeah, he's trying to head the ball, so all his momentum is powering his head forward. He gets hit lower in his body, and it spins him in the air, and then he lands awkwardly, and he's now holding his back, lying on the ground just outside the 6-yard box. So Aduriz, this 35-year-old, very late bloomer into the international scene. He's been brought on as a half-time substitute, and he's done himself a bit of damage here. We get to see another replay of that David De Gea save, and how crucial that could prove to be if Spain get back into this.
I mean, I thought he was going to go near post. When you're running at that angle as a right footer, I was just thinking slot it into the near post, because De Gea comes out, gets his angles absolutely perfect, makes himself big. Just thinking go near post, put your team 2-0 up, and if they get 2 goals, Italy, I think that's game over.
Yeah.
But as it stands, Spain have started to get a little bit of momentum now and playing a lot higher up the pitch, and they'll get one opportunity, Spain, definitely. Just whether they take it or not.
Bloody nose for Aduriz. He's still getting some treatment on his lower back, but it looks like he'll be okay to come on. Just a bit of magic spray down there, and Italy working their way out of defence and down the right hand side with Florenzi scoops it up high, over the halfway line, looking for Graziano Pelle. Arriving was Eder. Oh, that was a strong challenge by Gerard Piqué. Now the referee has waved play on. It looked to be unnecessarily forceful from Piqué. Eder is rolling around on the ground, and the Turkish referee is getting all sorts of stick, and now he brings play to a halt, and the Italians come charging around him.
It's a poor decision, Connor. It's a very poor decision. I don't know what he's thinking, the referee. Piqué's going nowhere near the ball, and it's a good attack that they've got, the Italians, as well, and he's just charged into him. It's blatant obstruction. The whole Italian bench, Conte was going crazy. I mean, it's a foul. It's a blatant foul. Eder's running for the ball. He's beat Piqué on a one-on-one. He just took him out. He's just completely took him out of the game.
And the referee's not far away from that either.
Well, not only that, he's given a few little fouls here and there on the Italians, and they all add up. And you can take them on the chin as a player and go, okay, but then when you don't get the big ones like that, that's why you get those types of reactions.
This is 5 Live from the BBC. We've got England against Iceland to come later on, 8 o'clock UK time. Full commentary here with Danny Mills, part of our team. For the moment in Paris, Italy 1, Spain 0. The goal in the first half from Giorgio Chiellini. Antonio Conte, who was wearing the waterproof coat and the baseball cap in the first half, he's back in his suit, the mop of dark hair, and he must be enjoying what he's seeing here. Is a long ball forward for Spain, and Aritz Aduriz comes after it and tries a shot from the edge of the penalty area and just can't get it on target. It was Morata. Buffon was trying to get back into position, and Morata tries to catch him out.
It was clever for Morata, I have to say. He's about 25, nearly 30 yards out, and as he takes that touch, even as he's taking the touch, he knows that Buffon's off his line, and it's just about trying to get it on target, and he unfortunately just couldn't get it on target for his side, but it was very clever.
We have played an hour now at Stade de France. Italy still leading, and Pelle with a wild ball out to the right wing, which Florenzi does well to control initially, but it's taken off his toe by Jordi Alba. So here comes Spain, trailing 1-0 over the halfway line, down that left channel. Morata takes it up now, almost at the byline, hooks in across. Buffon comes and easily gathers unopposed. Aritz Aduriz, who's now got a big stuffing of cotton wool up his nose after getting that bloody nose when he fell to the ground. And Buffon clears the ball right-footed, long up over the halfway line. Iniesta jumps in the air. It's nodded down by Fabregas. David Silva has to stretch, not a neat touch from him. Then he goes sliding in to try and get it a second time, and he's actually slid into De Sciglio, and the referee comes across, and that's going to be a free kick to Italy.
Well, he was definitely going to give that one, wasn't he? I don't think he was thought for a second not to give it. When Conte gave him the look to say, yeah, I dare you. Quickly blew his whistle.
Yeah, lovely player to watch, David Silva, but sliding tackles not quite his forte, and he
accepts it.
Yeah.
Patted him on the back, get up, let's get on with it.
Chiellini's goal still separates them. Italy at the moment going through to the quarter-final to play Germany. What a game that's going to be at the weekend in Bordeaux. It's chested down here by Pelle. Oh, Eder's done well to the edge of the D. Now De Sciglio pulls it back in. De Gea allows it to go through his hands, and they couldn't finish it at the back post. What a chance for Italy to go 2-0 up. Now the game stretches as Spain go long and looking for Aritz Aduriz, but he can't get onto it, and it's all the way back to Buffon.
Oh, so unlucky. I mean, as the cross comes in and it goes through De Gea's legs, hits the defender, all you need is just one of your players to fall to. I mean, it was just pot luck at that point, and it lands at the Spanish feet and they get to clear it, but they look so dangerous in those attacking positions, Italy. Always seem to pick the right decision when passing.
Yeah, the more Spain commit bodies forward as they must do, the more Italy look like they can catch out Spain on the counter-attack. Here is Giaccherini, who's still officially a Sunderland player. He's been on loan at Bologna. And he's done well for them the second half of the season, and then that looks an okay challenge for Marco Parolo, and the referee blows his whistle for that one. So it's become a little bit patchy here in this game in the last 16 now. A few niggly fouls in around the halfway line. It's just disrupting the flow of the game.
You know what, I have to say, I think at this tournament the refereeing, the standard of it has been exceptional. It's been absolutely brilliant, but this referee seems to be stopping the flow of what's a good game a little bit too much for me. A couple of very good tackles going in, and he's a bit too hasty to blow the whistle.
Here is Eder, who's having a very good game here against illustrious opponents. Pele gives it out to the left-hand side, and this is Giaccherini. Now he's got a lot of time here. He can look up. He's got two to aim for the middle. Giaccherini into the penalty area, floats it in, and too close to the goalkeeper, and De Gea makes a comfortable save.
You're right, by the way, Conor. Eder is having a fantastic game today. He knows he's got Piqué's number, he's got Ramos's number in terms of pace and energy. It's just about getting him the ball at the right time on the counter-attack. He is a very, very dangerous man. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets another chance.
Do you know if you remember, but back in January, Leicester City tried to sign Eder from Inter Milan, and he turned them down. And then he only scored one goal for his club through to the end of the season. You probably missed out on being part of a bit of fun there. Mind you, he'd probably struggled to get in the team the way Leicester were doing the second half of the campaign. He's been fouled here inside the centre circle, and it has become just niggly, hasn't it? There's just late tackles going in, it's stop-start, and the Italians are loving this. They go, we'll do this all night because it's preventing Spain from getting into their flow.
It's exactly that. It's clever play, but at the same time they are getting fouled. It's not like Spain are giving them the option to stay on their feet. They're not diving, they're getting fouled, and like you said, Conor, it's perfect for them in terms of taking that flow out of the game.
And Spain are trying to respond, and they're trying to front up and get involved in that physical battle. But in a way, in terms of aesthetically pleasing football, Italy are dragging the Spaniards down to their level, which is where they want them to be, because if it comes to a physical fight, the Italians will win this. Here comes Fabregas over the halfway line now for Spain, playing from left to right as we look down in the white shirts. Here is Morata outside the penalty area on the right, gives it back to Iniesta. That's a good ball, 10 yards outside the penalty area. To the right hand side is Juan Fran, defenders right in front of him, De Chilio. Juan Fran steps into the box, then gives it back out to the right hand side and to Cesc Fabregas, and he doesn't want to play it in, and he gives it back to the halfway line, and there's groans, and many of those groans from the Spanish fans now who want to see the ball put into the box. Here is Iniesta, glances around Eder, gives in a low ball which is straight to Chiellini, and Italy are relieved to clear it away.
But at least he's trying to make something happen. He's trying to go by somebody, he's trying to play a 1-2. They're just not on his wavelength when he gets in and around the box. I mean, you've watched Iniesta for years. All he wants to do when he's on that left-hand side of the box, give him a little 1-2 and he'll unlock this defence, no problem.
Here he is, 15 yards outside the penalty area. Iniesta, the Barcelona captain, gets possession back again. Out comes Parolo to try and get close to him. The ball is released and Italy get it back straight away. Busquets jumping in there with Pella. In comes Sergio Ramos. Spain struggling to get this down on the deck, but they do now with Juan Fran on the right-hand side. Out comes De Chilio to get close to him. He's been good tonight, the man playing left wing back, the number 2, getting very close to Juan Fran wherever he comes down this near touchline to us. Here is Juan Fran again on the ball. He's just outside the penalty area on the right hand side. It's a crossing position, but he doesn't have the manoeuvre here to swing his boot at it with enough force to put it in. Oh, Juan Fran, that's really good. De Chilio lunges back, wins the ball, keeps it in play. That's an excellent tackle. That is one of the tackles of the tournament by Mattia De Chilio, and Italy continuing to frustrate the Spanish here. Fabregas with a header. Busquets, all he could do is turn and give it back to the halfway line. Jermaine Genius.
Well, Juan Fran's got his hands on his head, and I don't understand why. It was a brilliant tackle from De Chilio. He stayed with him. Juan Fran tried to chop and turn, but he stuck with him, and it was a brilliant tackle.
Aritz Aduriz, good ball out to the left-hand side to Jordi Alba, back into the penalty area. Someone goes down looking for a penalty, nothing doing with the referee, and that goes out for a throw-in to Italy, left full-back position for them. We're now midway through the second half, and this game going very much as the Italians would have hoped.
He's got to be looking at maybe making another change very soon. Has to be. They've got so much ability on the bench in Spain that he's got to be looking at maybe an Alcantara or a Pedro to come and change things.
Remember, after the live football here in Paris, we'll be joining Mark Chapman, who will be with Alan Shearer and Rio Ferdinand, building up to England against Iceland. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, full commentary right here on 5 Live, as the ball goes out of play for another Italian throw, and that is another Spanish attack that has come to naught. And look, the Italians are really taking their time over things like the throw-ins now. Chiellini comes over and he's smiling at the ball boy and asking questions and just eating a few seconds away. Chiellini's throw up to the halfway line. Pella jumping with Piqué, and that's going to be a free kick. I think Pele backing into Piqué. Free kick taken quickly. Spain wanting to get Iniesta on the ball. Here he is, halfway line, closed down by Giaccherini. Gives it back behind to Piqué once again, and this is Sergio Ramos. Back to Piqué. Italy happy with this, leave it amongst those two right down that end of the field. That'll do them nicely, leading 1-0 thanks to Chiellini's opener. And in turn the Spanish go all the way back to the goalkeeper De Gea, who's made, if you've missed our commentary earlier on, some really fine saves in this game. At least 3 top quality saves from David De Gea. Ball's gone out of play there as Piqué tried to clear it. There's just little mistakes are preventing Spain from building their fluidity.
I think they're looking to make a change. It's Lucas Vazquez I think they're going to be looking to bring on.
Another forward-minded player. Real Madrid man. Ball towards the edge of the penalty area for Italy. Piqué takes it down. Busquets to the right-hand side, helped on by Juan Fran. Through Iniesta and David Silva. And now on the left-hand side for Alvaro Morata. Italy, though, good at getting bodies back behind the ball, and they've quickly made sure this is not a counter-attack. And again, breaks down on the edge of the penalty area, and Spain's frustration continues. Ball goes out on the far side, throw into Spain.
Pella's going to have to do better in those situations, because I think Spain are going to grow now into this game. The Italians naturally will start to drop a little bit deeper and try and protect what they've got. And when that ball goes up to Pella, he needs to hold it. And the last couple of times it's got into him, it's bounced off him, he's just kicked one out of play. If they're going to win this game, they're going to really need him for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, still 20-25 minutes by the time the stoppages are added on to go here. But Italy, who nobody was calling up as favourites before the tournament, shot goes wide from outside the penalty area from Aritz Aduriz, and that is going to be a goal kick for Italy. So we've now got the team news for England-Iceland coming up at 8 o'clock. Here's Ian Dennis, pitch side.
Well, it's not confirmed just yet, Connor, but this is what we're expecting the England team to be. Joe Hart in goal, a back four of Walker, Smalling, Cahill and Rose, Rooney, Dyer and Ali, and a front three of Sturridge, Kane and Sterling, who you'll have heard a lot about on 5 Live in the build-up to this game. England have just arrived. The confirmed team news will be in about 15 minutes' time.
OK, thanks, Ian. We'll be back to you for that. Your thoughts on that England predicted team, Jermaine Genius?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised to see Sterling back into the fold, I have to say. He's not played well in this tournament. Yes, the lad's a talent, but he's not really produced in the Premier League season or for England in this tournament. So that is a surprise, and it's a gamble for me from Roy as well, because it just gives people another reason to ask questions. So unless he's been really pulling up trees in training for Roy to stick his hat on him and say, you're going to make this happen, I'm not sure why he's done it.
Do you think it's the opposition that, you know, that he feels that the pace of Sterling can really get at? As a ball here into the penalty area, out comes Buffon. Oh, he's done well, Buffon, to punch it out of the penalty area, and a chance for Lucas Vazquez to send in across, and that goes for a corner. I mean, just quickly on that, is it the pace because Iceland are big burly defenders?
Can't be. Rashford's got pace, Vardy's got pace, we've got plenty of players that have got pace. I mean, so it can't be that.
Right. Corner to Spain. Don't forget, England is Iceland coming up 8 o'clock on 5 Live. Fabregas has placed the ball, a short run up, good delivery though towards the back, was headed by Ramos, and it's wide. Spain need 1 goal here to get back on level terms, and they've not had many chances. That counts as a decent one.
Well, even though they're not playing particularly well, Spain, not the Spanish way, they're starting to ramp it up a little bit more. They're getting free kicks, they're getting corners, they're getting the ball a lot higher up the pitch. I mean, they've got to be careful, these Italians, that they don't drop too deep, because there's too many good players within this Spanish side to not create one opportunity.
So with that change and Lucas Vazquez coming on, David Silva's gone to the left of the front three, Lucas Vazquez on the right hand side, and Aritz Aduriz is the man who is up front. Lucas Vazquez, by the way, very much the wild card of this Spanish squad. We're not missing any live action here. There's an Italian, Pella, down injured. He'd not represented Spain at any level, under 21s, under 19s, nothing like that, until he was called up to the squad for Euro 2016.
I mean, that's pretty unheard of, I would say.
Yeah,
but no, he's definitely a talent.
If ever they needed a wild card, they needed something a little bit different, now might be the time for Spain. He's 24 years of age. His last kick of the club campaign was to score a penalty in the Champions League shootout win against Atletico Madrid. Here is the Italian free kick, played in by Florenzi, ricochets up into the air, and out comes De Gea to comfortably save above his head. 18 minutes to go. I mean, it's a lot of time in football, but they want to get their skates on, Spain.
Well, they will do, because that 18 minutes will go like that. Because these Italians, what they'll do is do exactly what they're doing now. Little fouls, they'll slow the game down. Anytime that Buffon gets the ball in his hands, he'll take his time, throw-ins, free kicks, you name it. They'll make sure that this 18 minutes of play that a lot of the time they haven't got the ball, Spain.
Yeah, after tonight, a break at Euro 2016 until Thursday when the quarter-finals begin. And of course, so far we know Wales have got through to those quarter-finals. We'll find out later on tonight if England will be joining them. Germany already there. And at the moment, it could be Italy against Germany in Bordeaux in the quarter-final. It could be Spain, the holders, going out. What a turn-up that would be. What a disappointment for them after failing to get out of the group at the World Cup 2 years ago. Here is De Chilio, the left wing-back, just hooking it into the air, comes down inside the centre circle. Busquets, flicked on by Fabregas, taken down on the chest by Harit Adriz. Oh, there's a chance. Penalty throw, in off the post. Oh, it didn't go in. He was offside anyway. Lucas Vazquez hits the post. It rolls agonisingly along the goal line, but it doesn't go in, and even if it had done, it wouldn't have counted. He was offside.
Yeah, he was about a yard offside. Good line held by the Italian back three.
What an introduction that would have been, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, he shows he's already willing to run in behind, but the opportunity came because of exactly what just happened now. Chiellini passing the ball out of play, overplaying sometimes, taking risks in the wrong areas.
I loved in the aftermath of that, Buffon celebrated like a goal scorer would. You know, he jumped in the air, punched the air. Yes, they didn't score.
This is a huge 15 to 20 minutes coming up for this Italian side. As big as it is for Spain to try and get themselves to stay in this competition, I mean, what a moment it would be for this Italian team as well.
Yeah. Now Buffon has seen all the go. Oh, Conte has kicked the ball away. Well, I mean, obviously they can get another one really quickly, but the referee has got to come over and have a word about this. Judith Shakir, the Turkish referee, Antonio Conte, as the ball came out towards him. I mean, I don't think it was still on the pitch, but it was probably just over the line, and he kicked it violently away, and the frustration spilling over from him. This is when his team are winning. Can you imagine if they were 1-0 down?
Oh, well, the Italian fans are absolutely loving him for it. They're up there celebrating. Look, I mean, I can understand why he's so frustrated. Giaccherini was in on goal, and not in on goal, but he had an opportunity to get into a very good attacking position and have Spain on the ropes, and he kicked it out of play. It was very strange. So, yeah, obviously emotions running very high all over the pitch at the minute.
Italy still leading 1-0. Giorgio Chiellini's goal in the first half. We'll get the confirmed team news for England-Iceland shortly from Ian Dennis. Obviously there's been the strong assumption at this stage that Sterling is going to start. Do you think it's strange, Jermaine, just quickly on this, that every England game there's sort of been the news has come out in advance? Who is briefing the media and leaking that information from the dressing room? You know, Rooney's been left out or Sterling starts. Every game there's been a story. We'll come back to that. Here is David Silva on the left hand side, plays it into the penalty area, just too high for Harit Adriz, but it's been kept in play by Lucas Vazquez on the right hand side. Chiellini comes out to try and close it. Here is Iniesta. Oh, good shot, excellent save from Buffon. Well, two absolute masters of the sport there. Difficult technique of the volley from Iniesta, but it was going in, and Buffon makes the save, and that was a heavyweight collision, and they both impressed, but Italy retain their lead. Juan Fran from the quickly taken corner. Lucas Vazquez, who's been bright since coming on, gives it to Iniesta across to the edge of the D. Busquets, not a good ball from Busquets, and that forces Iniesta to run back to the halfway line, and that frustrates Spain. Fabregas gets a touch. Juan Fran on the right hand side. That's just woken up Spain a little bit there. That excellent shot from Andres Iniesta, but he didn't score. Here is Fabregas, just outside the penalty area. Immediately looks to see where Iniesta is. Lovely balance from Iniesta, and a shot from Fabregas, and a save again from Buffon, diving to his right hand side. He is in no mood to be beaten tonight, the Italian goalkeeper.
He's a world class goalkeeper, Connor, and as much as Spain have ramped it up, these are shots that they're having from 25 yards, 20 yards, and it's going to take something seriously special to beat him from that range. He's top class, and it was Iniesta that nearly did produce something special.
Lucas Vazquez looked really bright since coming on as a substitute here, and now Spain have it on the left with Jordi Alba, and this is Fabregas just a few paces outside the penalty area, gives it back infield once again to Gerard Piqué. Italy being pinned back in at the moment, but they have the crucial lead here with 13 minutes to go. Juan Fran's cross in off a defender and out for a corner to Spain on the right.
Yep, they're starting to look a little bit leggy as well.
taken short again. Lucas Vasquez towards the back post. Sergio Ramos jumped. There were 2 balls on the pitch there when that corner was taken. The other ball didn't affect play, but I wonder if it had led to a goal, would there have been protests about it? As it is, it goes out of play on the far side. Right, we have got confirmed England team news for the England-Iceland game. Let's go pitch side there in Ian Dennis.
Well, Rose for Bertrand, Walker for Klein, you've got Rooney for Wilshere, Ali for Henderson, Kane for Vardy and Sterling for Lallana. They're the 6 changes. The team then, as we said, is Hart, Rose, Cahill, Smalling and Walker, Rooney, Dyer and Ali, Sturridge, Kane and Sterling, and Conor Jermaine says he's surprised England are going to try and play with width, and Sturridge and Sterling are going to be keen, and the fullbacks to bomb on and try and get on the overlap at 2.
OK, thank you very much, Ian. England against Iceland coming up, 8 o'clock kickoff UK time. Spain are preparing their 3rd and final change. Pedro Rodriguez of Chelsea preparing to come on. This could be it, for Vicente Del Bosque, one of the most successful coaches that this sport has ever known. He's won the World Cups, he's won the Euros, he's won the trophies with Real Madrid. This is the end for him. If they're on their way out, this will be his last game tonight. And of course he'll still be revered in his country. He's already been elevated to nobility. I've got the title down here, the most illustrious Marquis of Del Bosque. That's the title they gave him. But this is not the illustrious end that he would have wanted, the Marquis.
No, but it's not over yet. And I mentioned pace, that they needed it. There's not many more quicker out there than Pedro, but Italians are back on the attack.
Yep. Pedro took a while to settle in with Chelsea. Here come Italy though. Good ball into the penalty area, just too far in front of Vidair. It was a good angle from Marco Parolo, but there was too much on it, and it carries through to De Gea.
I watched the game against Belgium with Italy, and I just said a minute ago that they're starting to look a little bit leggy, and I felt that towards the end of the second half against Belgium, and they popped up with a very well worked counter-attacking goal, and it's something that they have in their armoury, that they kind of sit back, they get the rest, they get together, and in that last 5 minutes they'll probably try and nick one on the counter.
Pedro's still waiting to come on. Spain on the attack. Cross from Juanfran on the right hand side is just too high for Aritz Aduriz, and it's cushioned back to the goalkeeper by Florenzi. And Buffon and his fellow Italians looking very comfortable at the moment. Now with Pedro coming on for Spain, Italy are also going to make another change, and Lorenzo Insigne is going to come on now. He did very well when he came on. I saw him last week in Lille against the Republic of Ireland. He was the guy who hit the post in that game for the Italians when it was still 0-0. A good challenge by Sergio Ramos on the edge of the penalty area, and Italy have it with Fabregas, and Fabregas, who's the deepest lying player at the moment, which just sort of shows the position that they are in, with Fabregas back behind the defenders. Here is Busquets now, through the midfield, up to Lucas Vasquez, to David Silva on the left-hand side. Jordi Alba comes as an outlet over on that side. Good run by David Silva. Now, he's got Bonucci in front of him, gives in a cross, it's just too high for Aritz Aduriz, and it bounces on the byline, but it doesn't go out of play. It doesn't go out behind for the byline, it goes out to the touchline, and that will be a throw-in for Italy. So here come the substitutes. Let's get news on day 1 of Wimbledon from our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller.
Laura Robson has set down Dan Evans at 1 set all, but the story is that Marcus Willis, 772 in the world, has just beaten Ricardas Berankis just outside the top 50 in straight sets. He's into the second round. He could be playing Roger Federer on centre court on Wednesday, Connor.
Thank you very much, Russell. Will hear a very curious substitution, because Aritz Aduriz, the striker who came on at half-time, has been taken off to allow Pedro to come on. And as he left the field, the Athletic Bilbao player, Vicente Del Bosque did not even look at him. Just allowed him to walk straight past him.
I think he might have been injured though, Connor.
Well, he obviously had that treatment.
He was limping.
But why wouldn't the manager give him the handshake, give him the nod?
Well, he's obviously not been happy with probably the whole team performance today, not just Aduriz, who's been on for the last 20 minutes. He's not a happy man right now, and as you mentioned, this isn't the end to his international managerial career that he wanted.
Absolutely not. Lorenzo Insigne, the Napoli striker, has come on in place of Adair up front. The Spanish defence will be pleased to see the back of Adair. His pace has been a problem for them But Insigne is a good player. He's diminutive. He's short. I mean, he's shorter than Messi. But he's tricky and he can create things and he'll hold the ball up. And here he is getting his first touch inside the centre circle. Challenged by Fabregas. Good work by Fabregas. 8 minutes of normal time remaining here at Stade de France in Paris. Italy leading Spain by a 0-0. Juan Fran back into his own half. Conte still very animated in his technical area. Vicente Del Bosque with the hands plunged deep in the pockets. Fabregas has it back on the halfway line on the left hand side. Spain wearing white, playing left to right. Good ball from Fabregas to the near touchline. If the bounce doesn't beat Juan Fran, it was such a high bounce he had to stretch for it, and then he couldn't get the controlling touch, and it goes out for a goal kick to Italy, and they will take their time about that.
Yeah, they're just getting to that point now, Spain, where it's getting to desperate times. They were trying to force things a little bit too much. I've seen too many passes like that from Spain today. Too many almost long balls where I felt like they could put in that extra pass. There was a moment earlier where David Silva finally found some space in a lovely area, tries to clip it to the back post for Aduriz. Usually you'd see him drift in, try and play little 1-2s, make things happen, but you can sense that anxiety kind of coming into their game and not making the right decisions.
Insigne tries to chest it down, challenged by Piqué, and then the ball goes out of play, and that will be a throw-in for Spain. Another Italian change is coming. Matteo Darmian of Manchester United about to come on. Further defensive reinforcement. He'll take the place of Alessandro Florenzi, the Roma player who's been the right wing back. Now Florenzi more of a winger than a wing back, and Darmian who's more of a full back.
Yeah.
So they might be just trying to shut the gate here, Italy, with time running out for Spain. Just over 6 minutes of normal time to go.
He's had a very good game. He has, Florenzi. I've been very impressed with him attacking. From an attacking point of view, from a defensive point of view, he's put in a strong shift. Everyone thought Candreva was a big miss for them, and obviously he was, but he's come onto that right hand side and done very well, as well as De Chilio has done on this left hand side. Good performance from him.
Yeah, it's not been a good performance from Spain tonight, but Italy haven't allowed them play. They have bullied their opponents, and the holders on the verge of elimination here at the last 16. Italy 1, Spain 0. Here is Insigne. Oh, he goes around Sergio Ramos to the edge of the area, hits it, and saved by De Gea. He was still outside the penalty area when he struck it. It was low, there was power, but it would need to be extra special to beat David De Gea from there.
It was a lovely little drop of the shoulder, though. He sent Sergio Ramos completely the wrong way, but I think he felt that he didn't have the legs to just quite continue and drive further forward, and it was a good strike, but again, the human wall got in the way.
Yep. Well, that's exactly what he did against the Irish, and he hit the post late on in the game last Wednesday. And here it was a shot on target, but saved by David De Gea. Here is David Silva, the Manchester City man, on the left-hand side. That's a good ball for Pedro. First time he's been on it. Whips in the cross, but it's got too easy. Too easy for De Chilio to clear away. No pressure at all on him, and Italy will deal with that sort of cross all day long. Here is Darmian, who's just come on. Challenged and tackled by Sergio Ramos, who's creeping up the field now as Spain grow increasingly desperate. David Silva wants to win a throw-in on the far side, and he does, off the shins of Darmian, and Spain take it quickly to Fabregas, into Iniesta. Across comes Thiago Motta, but he can't put the firm touch in on him, and Italy managed to clear it away at least up to the halfway line, where Graziano Pella's put in a lot of work up there on his own tonight. Won't hold on to the ball, but at least Spain have been pushed backwards. Here they come again. Spain down the right hand side. Lucas Vazquez, he's got Juan Fran behind him. He skips around first Giaccherini, then he rolls it across the area to Iniesta. Not a great first touch of Iniesta. Ball in there for Pedro, and he can't get a touch. Buffon was diving out, Pedro was stretching in. The ball flashed through the middle of both of them, and it goes out for a corner to Spain. Jermaine Ginas.
That's exactly the type of ball that they're going to need to play if they're going to get themselves back into this game, because crosses high into this box are going to get swallowed up by people like Bonucci and Chiellini.
Here comes the corner. Fabregas swings it in, headed away by Pella, and a shot from Pedro on the edge of the box, and the volley is way too high and over the crossbar, and a goal kick for the Italians, and the clock continues to tick on in their favour. 4.5 minutes to go. Are Italy sensationally about to knock Spain out of Euro 2016?
Well, it's looking that way at the minute. I mean, as much as Spain have improved in this second half, they've still not really created a clear opportunity. A lot of their chances have come from the volley from Iniesta from 25 yards, strike from Gerard Piqué from a similar distance. Still waiting for that key pass, that bit of brilliance from somebody to unlock this Italian defence.
It's been a tournament which has featured a lot of late goals, Spain need a late goal here. Fabregas near the centre circle, swings out to the left hand side to David Silva. Iniesta's in front of him. Silva almost lost the ball between his own feet there, but recovers his poise, gives it to Iniesta on the left hand side. Fabregas has dropped deep here, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Pele comes in, nibbling at his ankles. Fabregas shrugs him off. Little back flick from Iniesta, tries to give it back to Fabregas. Defender falls over, referee says that's a free kick. Fabregas incensed, free kick to Italy.
He's right to be incensed, Fabregas. I'm not sure, unless he's had a right tug at his shirt, which I don't think he has. I mean, there's a coming together, but Darmian throws himself to the floor. Brilliant in terms of getting a bit of breathing space for your defence from Darmian, but I mean, Cesc Fabregas was within his rights to be angry at the theatrics.
Well, these are nervous moments now for the Spanish contingent in the crowd. I mean, they had it all their own way for so long, didn't they? Euro 88, the World Cup in 2010, Euro 2012. They were looking invincible, but Spain, they don't have that quite allure they used to have. You know, you could say the World Cup in Brazil was a blip, but if they go out of this tournament here in the last 16, well, that's it. The golden generation era, you know, they're back to just being mere mortals again.
Yeah, and that's a booking there for Thiago Motta, and I think that means that he'll miss the next game.
Yes, Thiago Motta, one of the 10 who were on a booking from a suspension, gets a late yellow card here. Spanish players are surrounding the referee in the fallout from that. But this is all working out okay for Italy because the clock ticks on.
Yeah, Thiago Motta, I know exactly what he's doing. He's trying to just break up play. I don't think he realised that it was a poor ball from Cesc Fabregas, but yeah, there's a coming together. I think he swung his arm at him and he's caught Lucas Vazquez in the face, but
Thiago Motta, who won a domestic treble in France this past season with Paris Saint-Germain, so this is his city club-wise. De Gea from the centre circle takes the free kick towards the edge of the penalty. Terrible ball, what a chance! Saved by Buffon to deny Gerard Piqué. What an opportunity for Spain. There was a poor header on the edge of the area. Piqué reacted best. He got his shot on target. 6 yards out. Buffon somehow made the save.
Well, that was it. That was the chance. That you always know you're going to get one at some point, no matter how bad you're playing. If you keep putting the ball in the right areas, at some point one's going to land, and it's whether you take it or not. And to be fair to Piqué, it's a tough one. It comes over his shoulder and he keeps his eye on the ball, gets great contact on it, but what a save.
Piqué's playing up like a striker now. Desperate times, desperate measures for Spain. They have had a few chances now, but they've not been able to dominate the game as they would have wanted to. Corner to Spain. Good work by Lucas Vazquez down the right hand side. We have 10 seconds of normal time to go. We're about to find what is going to be added on here. Fabregas places the ball for the corner. Spain's number 10. Buffon a few paces off his line. Here's the delivery. Too high for Piqué, too low for Sergio Ramos. 4 minutes are being added on for stoppages. Counter-attack here by Italy. Conte instructing them to go for the corner. Here is Insigne on the left-hand side, received it from Giaccherini. Back in field to Thiago Motta. He might miss the quarter-final, but he'll get it for everything now. And look at the space on the far side for Darmian, who can chest it down for himself. This could seal it in the penalty area. Pele! Oh, just like he did earlier in the competition. A brilliant volley from Graziano Pelle has put Italy into the quarter-final of Euro 2016. They have just knocked out the holders. Spain are going home.
Well, it's exactly like I said in the game against Belgium. This team, they know how to manage a game. They sat deep for large periods of this second half, waited for the opportunity to catch Spain on the counter-attack, and it was that man again, Graziano Pelle, who's been brilliant throughout the whole of this game, who puts them 2-0 up, and it's nothing less than they deserve, Connor. They've been absolutely phenomenal.
Scored against Belgium with a very similar goal. This was a closer distance, but a cross which I think was also from Darmian in that game. Full on the volley, triumphantly to the roof of the net. Broad smile on the face of the Southampton striker, who has now got 2 goals in the 3 games he's been involved in at this tournament. There's no way back for Spain now. We're in stoppage time. They are 2-0 down, and the team who won 3 major tournaments back to back, 2008, 2010, 2012, well, it's come off the tracks. The last World Cup, and now here in France. Simply tonight not good enough, Jermaine Genius.
Not good enough. There was asked questions and they didn't have the answers. It's as simple as that. You know, they've got some phenomenal talent, within their team, but this Italian side they've almost schooled them.
Yeah.
They've gave them a lesson today in terms of how to play as a team. There's some good individuals in that Spanish side, but they've not got really any idea in terms of when they're playing. It's all off the cuff.
Here is Lucas Vazquez for Spain down the right hand side, but surely the goose is cooked as it's cleared away by De Chilio. Anywhere will do. Mind you, he could have put it somewhere better than that. He's just given it over to the left hand side for Jordi Alba. But remember, Spain need to score twice. We've already played 2.5 of the 4 minutes of stoppage time. There'll be a little bit more added on because of that goal, but really the 2 goals look so unlikely. This is Busquets to the right hand side again. Lucas Vazquez, cross blocked down by De Chilio, and it's a stubborn Italian performance that really will want to keep the clean sheet now. And Buffon, who's been in such inspired form. Here is Fabregas over to the left hand side to Jordi Alba. Difficult one for Pedro to chase after towards the corner flag. Barzali goes with him. Pedro runs it out of play. It's a throw into Italy, and look at the Italian fans away to our left, waving their green, white and red flags in the air, chanting their songs. They're going to stay up late tonight in Paris, and they are going to go to Bordeaux to play Germany in the quarter-final. What a game that will be. You'll hear it live right here on BBC Radio 5 Live.
Well, if I was Germany, I'd be worried. Having seen this performance, they know they're going to be getting tested in Bordeaux, and what a game that's going to be. There was a moment early on, Conte is pumping his fist. He even jumped on the dugout at one point, Connor. That just shows the level of importance and how amazing it is they've been done to put in a performance like they have done today.
Chiellini's on the ground rolling around. David Silva's been shown a yellow card. Chiellini was trying to shield the ball by the corner flag, and Silva came in and tried to get it off him, but Chiellini dramatically fell, but it was enough to convince the referee to show the yellow card. Down on the Italian substitutes bench, they are jumping up and down in unison with the supporters. They are spraying their water bottles in the air, and there is the final whistle. Italy have knocked out Spain. They have won by 2-0. Chiellini in the first half, Pele in stoppage time right at the very end. Spain not good enough tonight, but boy oh boy, have Italy made the world stand up and take notice.
We can't help but do that, Connor. It was a brilliant performance from them from minute 1 to the end. You know you're going to come up against it every now and again with this Spanish side and the players that they've got within their ranks, but again, like I said, when they was asked questions, this Italian team in terms of their defensive capabilities, they had all the answers. They couldn't get through. I can't think of one clear-cut opportunity that Spain created. It was all long balls, crosses, the odd opportunity. But that Italian side, I mean, they deserved everything that they got from that game today. They put in so much effort and they got the reward.
The reigning European champions are out. Spain's misery from the World Cup is almost replicated here in France. It's a miserable end to a brilliant career for Vicente Del Bosque, but Italy go to Bordeaux to play Germany. They have beaten Spain by 2-0.